with that, we're done with committee reports unless board members have other things to make a comment on. Holly?
I wanted to talk a little bit about the board videos, and I've shared my concerns and haven't really gotten a resolution, and I think I wanted the board to weigh in on this since I can't really direct anybody to do anything. But as you know, the downloadable feature is no longer an option on the board meeting videos, and as a board member, as the clerk, I rely on that feature. It takes hours to download, and if I have to listen to it a second time, which happens a lot, I have to wait hours again for it to download. And I would imagine there's community members who are facing similar problems. So we used to be able to download, and it was great. And now we can't, and I'm not sure how that decision was made because it's a change from previous practice. And so I'm thinking these are our board meetings and the videos of them that we should weigh in.
Can people not get DVDs?
I'm talking about myself. I mean, I don't have a DVD drive. So the option was to give me an external DVD drive, which frankly isn't very convenient because I got to run around with an external DVD drive. I got to come and pick it up and return it. To me, that's just not an acceptable solution.
So what happened? I mean, you used to be able
I don't know.
to do it. Okay.
It got turned off.
So that's the question.
Right.
What happened?
Right.
So maybe that, just can someone respond to that?
No.
Why was it turned off?
I don't have the background for that tonight, Holly. I couldn't respond to it.
Well, I've shared emails.
Yeah, but we didn't prepare for this. We didn't have the background.
Well, it's not whether
to
you're
it.
prepared or not.
I
I've
don't
been
know.
asking for a month.
Yeah.
I guess I'd just like to weigh in as a former board clerk. I can tell you that download feature is a huge savings of time and frustration. What happens if you don't have that download feature, what happens is you try to scroll across on this thing, you can move it in little increments and back a little bit, and then once in a while it just jams up on you completely, and then you have to start all over and work your way across, or just let it play for a couple hours by itself. Hopefully you'll catch it in the right spot. And on the longer tapes that we have right now, it gets towards the end, and you never know what's going to happen at the end. Lots of times it just sort of gets locked up out there, and you got to start over, and sometimes you can never get there. It's
It sounds
it
like we
is
should be able to solve
frustrating.
this. Yeah.
So, and when we have this downloadable feature, you can just download it onto your computer. It works way better. You just slide across, get where you want, doesn't lock up on you. So unless there's some reason why we are not doing that, I would be in favor of turning it back on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I think what we heard is we don't know what happened. Whether it was turned off, I think assumes that somebody turned it off.
Right.
I value this feature for us
Or maybe
too.
there was a break in the
I guess I'm
code, I
just
don't know.
weighing in that unless there's some reason we can't or it's not feasible, I think.
Well, it was turned on temporarily. When I asked the first time it got turned on, I was able to download the March 22nd meeting, but then when I went back again, it got turned off again. So I don't know.
We don't know that it got turned off. Somebody could have recovered a backup for some reason that had the setting different. I mean, there's a million technical.
What do you mean we don't know it's turned off?
No, we don't know that someone intentionally went and turned it off, which is the implication of what you're saying. I mean,
So
happens
5
all the
emails
time.
over a month, and no one can tell me the answer. Okay, I guess that's, I'm not to make any assumption when I ask the question why it got turned off and I don't get an answer over the course of a month. That's
I'm just
acceptable.
saying by saying it got turned off is an
Well, it
assumption
did.
that
It's not an assumption. It is turned off. It used to be on, it's off.
It's a feature that no longer is working. Doesn't mean someone intentionally went and turned it off.
We can look into it.
Okay, I've got another board meeting. I'm 3 board meetings behind. I mean, how long do I have to wait?
Yeah, I don't know, but we do have DVDs that you
That's-
have access to, and I'll look into the larger question.
Carol, I don't understand why this is so difficult.
I don't either. I think there's a part.
This is our board meeting,
No.
and it's our videos.
Okay. Well, here's the dilemma, is that I think it's hard as clerk to have to go back and re-listen to each and every board meeting. So we need to find some efficiency so that that doesn't need to happen.
That's what I'm asking for. I'm asking for the downloadable feature to be available again, like
Okay.
it was.
And then I think what I would ask is for administration to seek a resolution to this.
And I asked that starting a month ago.
Okay. So
What's acceptable for how long I need to wait?
So I think at this point, let's as a board, turn this over to administration to get a resolution to this.
So that's how it works? Okay,
Well,
super.
within a certain time frame, like within the next,
Yeah,
24
absolutely.
hours.
I mean, you need to get this done, so.
So,
What's reasonable to set a time?
well, isn't it also reasonable, I mean, so they say no, well, this is our,
well, it's part of a, I think
Well,
it's
we
part
have
of.
to understand what's going on.
okay. So it
Maybe
wasn't
there's a
sufficient for me to
resource.
ask. It wasn't sufficient for me to ask. The board has to be able to ask that question. As the clerk, it was insufficient for me to ask the question.
Well, you were asked and provided a solution that's not workable for
I
you.
asked the question why we can no longer have the downloadable feature. That's the question I asked. It has not been answered, and apparently the board needs to direct that to happen. That's what I'm understanding. Okay.
We'll have that figured out sometime this week.
And then we as a board weigh in if we are not happy with the solution, or how does that work? If the answer is no, we're done, we accept that?
I think the clerk needs to be able to do your job,
Right,
so.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
if we as a board agree that in order for Holly to do her job appropriately, that she needs a download, then we should just make sure that gets done.
Well, and it's a function of what's going on, because is it bandwidth, is it?
It's neither. It's available because I've been told it's available.
Well,
So,
then you did get an answer.
from Becky Anger, who can't make the decision. She can't do it,
Okay,
so.
I think the
I
board is
think we've
saying
got-
restore it within
I think
5
we're-
business days or.
yeah.
I can't, I'm not gonna, I'll look into it this week and we'll get an answer back to you. So that's all I can commit to or promise at this point. I don't have the background to why it is or isn't available or any of that, so I'm not gonna make a promise I can't keep.
Well, 5 days is unacceptable because we have a board book coming out in a week, and I need to be able to listen to the board minutes. So, it's
And
unacceptable for 5
I don't know how
days.
long it takes to get a DVD, but we'll have that for sure right away, and in the meantime, we'll look into this other question.
I'd like to suggest that there's another issue going on here, and that other issue is the responsiveness of the administration to Holly's requests. And I'm concerned by that. I also weighed in on this as how important I thought it was, and this is where we're at right now, and I find that unacceptable. And I think it's important to note that. I guess in lots of ways, I'd like a response from the administration as to why those were not answered. I mean, we got a board member, 2 of us, that asked about it, and not a very good response. And so, was there something wrong in the way the question was asked? What is the issue here? Melissa, I'm asking you.
John, the response I've given is the one I have for tonight.
That was to a different issue. The
Yeah,
issue I
don't
have on
one
my,
for you.
you have no response on that at all.
No,
Then I would
don't.
respectfully request that you work on that and get a response.
Okay, I think we're going to move ahead. This is, I think this will be addressed, so.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Anything else?